Today we have some amazing stories trending across the globe. These are the headlines. White House secures emergency funding for WIC program amid government shutdown. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner head to Egypt for Gaza ceasefire negotiations. France's political crisis deepens as Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu resigns after 26 days. OpenAI and Nvidia fuel $1 trillion AI market with controversial circular investment deals. U.S. gold futures top $4,000 mark for first time as record run continues. Danvers teachers defend teaching of all American boys amid parent concerns over content. Dolly Parton's sister calls for prayers as country icon faces health challenges and postpones Las Vegas residency. Denise Richards testifies about alleged abuse. Claims ex Aaron Phypers caused multiple concussions. Top European clubs including Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Barcelona compete for Crystal Palace's Marc Guéhi. Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez sued by truck driver after violent parking dispute in Indianapolis. Before we dive into today's incredible lineup of stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that like button right now. It helps us bring you these comprehensive news roundups every single day. And trust me, you don't want to miss what we've got for you today. Country music legend Dolly Parton is facing serious health challenges that have forced her to postpone her highly anticipated Las Vegas residency. The 79-year-old superstar's sister, Frida Parton, took to Facebook asking fans worldwide to join her in prayer for Dolly's recovery. In a heartfelt message, Frida wrote that she spent an entire night praying for her sister, acknowledging that many fans know Dolly hasn't been feeling her best lately. She expressed her belief in the power of prayer and called on the world to become prayer warriors for the beloved icon. Dolly herself addressed her fans directly, explaining that she needs to postpone 6 scheduled performances at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. With her characteristic humor, the Jolene singer joked that it was time for her 100,000-mile checkup, though she clarified it wasn't her usual visit to the plastic surgeon. The country icon emphasized that she wants to deliver the show her fans deserve and won't perform until she can be at her best. The postponed Las Vegas performances have been rescheduled for September 2026. Earlier this year, Dolly also missed the unveiling of a new roller coaster at her theme park, Dollywood, after doctors advised her not to travel while dealing with a kidney stone and related infection. Despite these health setbacks, Parton assured fans she has no plans to quit the business, saying God hasn't said anything about stopping yet. In disturbing testimony before a California court, actress Denise Richards has alleged that her estranged husband Aaron Phypers caused her at least 3 concussions during their marriage. The 54-year-old actress continued her testimony during a hearing regarding the temporary restraining order she was granted against Phypers in July. According to court filings, Richards claimed she learned about the concussions when Phypers used equipment at his wellness center to scan her after she complained of headaches and nausea. She alleged that separate violent incidents resulted in each concussion, including one where Phypers allegedly slammed her head against a concrete wall, and another at a Chicago hotel in April where she testified it felt like he was crushing her skull. Richards also alleged during her testimony that Phypers would frequently threaten to throw her through windows and off hotel balconies, emotionally stating "has almost killed me so many damn times." She described incidents where he would grab her arms, get inches from her face, and call her degrading names. The actress was granted a temporary restraining order on July 16th, 11 days after Phypers filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. Phypers has repeatedly and categorically denied all abuse allegations, stating he has never physically or emotionally abused Richards or anyone else. Former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez is facing a lawsuit from a 69-year-old truck driver following a violent altercation outside a downtown Indianapolis hotel. Perry Toll filed the lawsuit Monday seeking both actual and punitive damages, as well as attorney's fees. The lawsuit accuses Sanchez of instigating the fight Saturday night, which prosecutors say was over a parking space. The altercation resulted in severe injuries to Toll, including what the lawsuit describes as severe permanent disfigurement and loss of function. Photos circulating online show Toll in a hospital bed with a neck brace, covered in blood with a deep facial wound. During the fight, Toll also allegedly stabbed Sanchez several times. Sanchez is now facing a felony battery charge along with several misdemeanor charges. Both Fox Sports and attorneys representing Sanchez in his criminal case have declined to comment on the civil lawsuit. AC Milan midfielder Adrien Rabiot has blasted Serie A's controversial plan to stage a league match in Australia, calling it completely crazy and really absurd. The Italian top flight wants to play Milan's February fixture against Como in Perth, Western Australia, marking an unprecedented move for European football. Speaking to French newspaper Le Figaro, Rabiot didn't hold back his criticism. It's crazy to travel so many kilometers to play a match between two Italian teams in Australia, the French international said. He acknowledged financial agreements are driving the decision, but questioned the logic given ongoing concerns about packed schedules and player health. UEFA has reluctantly approved the request on an exceptional basis, though the governing body reiterated its clear opposition to such plans. Spain's La Liga is also hoping to stage a December match between Villarreal and Barcelona in Miami. Serie A defended the move, saying it would introduce new audiences to Italian football and increase worldwide visibility, describing it as a small sacrifice for Milan and Como fans. However, the plan faces significant backlash from players and supporters alike. Barcelona faces a potential crisis ahead of the season's first El Clásico, with teenage sensation Lamine Yamal's participation in doubt due to a groin injury. The 18-year-old suffered a relapse during Barcelona's Champions League loss to Paris Saint-Germain, and coach Hansi Flick says it's impossible to predict if he'll be fit for the crucial match against Real Madrid on October 26th. Yamal is expected to miss up to 3 weeks, ruling him out of Sunday's trip to Sevilla and Spain's international fixtures. This marks the second time this season the young forward has dealt with the same groin problem, having initially injured it while on international duty in September. The situation has reignited tensions between Barcelona and the Spanish national team. Flick previously accused Spain of not taking care of the teenager, comments that drew a sharp response from Spain coach Luis de la Fuente, who said he was surprised and expected more empathy from a fellow national team coach. Adding to Barcelona's injury woes, midfielder Marc was also initially called up to Spain's under-21 squad despite only recently returning from a year-long ACL injury. Flick expressed concern about Bernal's readiness, and Spain later replaced him in the squad. Manchester United striker Rasmus Hojlund has joined Napoli on a season-long loan deal that includes an obligation to buy, marking a swift end to his troubled Old Trafford career. United will receive a €6 million loan fee, with an additional €44 million due next summer when certain conditions are met. The 22-year-old Danish striker, who cost United up to £72 million from Atalanta in 2023, was frozen out by manager Ruben Amorim despite featuring in pre-season. Sources close to Hojlund indicated he felt compelled to leave after United signed Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig for over £73 million. Hojlund will reunite with former United midfielder Scott McTominay at the reigning Italian champions, stepping in for the injured Romelu Lukaku under manager Antonio Conte. The move represents another significant departure from United's expensive recruitment under previous management. A transfer battle is brewing for Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guéhi, with some of Europe's biggest clubs lining up for his signature. According to reports, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Barcelona, and Real Madrid are all seriously interested in the English international. Bayern Munich sporting director Max Eberl is reportedly a big admirer and has already held initial talks with Guéhi's representatives. The German Giants are interested in a free transfer when his contract expires in 2026, though their pursuit may depend on the futures of current defenders Dayot Upamecano and Kim Min-jae. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Guéhi will definitely not extend his contract at Crystal Palace, setting up what he describes as both a project-driven and financial battle among top European clubs. More than 5 or 6 elite clubs are expected to compete for his services, with interests spanning Germany, Spain, Italy, and England. The White House has secured emergency funding to keep a critical food assistance program running despite the ongoing government shutdown. The special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, known as WIC, provides essential support to more than 6 million low-income Americans. The administration will redirect tariff revenue to temporarily fund the program for the foreseeable future, according to a senior White House official. The Office of Management and Budget developed what they are calling a creative solution to prevent the program from running out of money within weeks. WIC offers vouchers for nutritious food, breastfeeding support, and nutritional education to pregnant, postpartum, and breastfeeding women, as well as young children. In fiscal year 2024, the federal government spent over $7 billion on the program. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt praised President Trump for finding this solution, stating that the administration will not allow impoverished mothers and their babies to go hungry because of the Democrats' political games. However, Democrats have criticized Republican efforts to restrict eligibility and reduce funding for nutrition assistance programs, and the long-term stability of WIC remains uncertain. The government shutdown is now directly impacting air travel across the nation, with flight delays and cancellations climbing as air traffic controllers call in sick. The shortage of controllers has left several airport towers and control facilities without adequate staffing to handle normal flight operations. Nashville International Airport faced severe disruptions Tuesday, with its control tower operating at extremely limited staffing levels. The situation forced approach traffic to be handled by the Memphis Control Center, resulting in flights experiencing average delays of more than 2 hours. Dallas and Chicago also saw significant delays, with wait times averaging 30 and 40 minutes respectively. Despite being classified as essential workers who are exempt from furloughs, an estimated 13,294 air traffic controllers continue working without pay during the shutdown, creating mounting pressure on an already strained system. Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski said she is working with the administration to find a solution to the staffing crisis as the shutdown enters its second week. U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner arrived in Egypt Wednesday to join critical indirect peace talks aimed at ending the war in Gaza. The negotiations, taking place in the Egyptian resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh, focus on President Trump's recently proposed peace plan. The talks bring together representatives from the United States, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, with Egypt and Qatar serving as intermediaries between Israel and Hamas. The discussions come as Israel marks 2 years since the Hamas attack that triggered the devastating conflict. Hamas is demanding guarantees that Israel won't resume military operations after the release of the remaining 48 hostages taken during the October 7, 2023 attack. Israel believes only 20 of those hostages are still alive. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has insisted the war will only end when all hostages are returned and Hamas is completely disarmed. President Trump's plan envisions Israel withdrawing troops from Gaza after Hamas disarms, with an international security force taking control. The territory would be placed under international governance overseen by Trump and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. The plan has received widespread international backing, with Trump telling reporters Monday there's a really good chance of achieving a lasting deal. The war has resulted in catastrophic casualties, with over 67,000 Palestinians killed and nearly 170,000 wounded according to Gaza's health ministry, while also creating what UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called a humanitarian catastrophe on a scale that defied comprehension. France is spiraling deeper into political chaos as Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu resigned after just 26 days in office, marking the third prime ministerial departure in less than a year. President Emmanuel Macron's grip on power is increasingly tenuous, with polls showing nearly 3/4 of voters believe he should step down. Lecornu's brief tenure collapsed when Bruno Retailleau, leader of the Conservative Republicans Party, withdrew from the government just 14 hours after it was announced. The core challenge facing French leadership is the nation's crushing debt burden, over 3.3 trillion euros, representing 114% of GDP, the third highest in the Eurozone. Both of Lecornu's predecessors, Michel Barnier and François Bayrou, were ousted in confidence votes as they attempted to pass austerity budgets to tackle the deficit. Lecornu blamed his departure on the unmovable stances of various parties, saying all behave as if they had a majority. President Macron, who once called himself the master of the clocks for his political timing, now faces four difficult options: forming another government, dissolving parliament for fresh elections, resigning early, or hoping parties can compromise on a limited budget. With 18 months left in his presidency, pressure is mounting for Macron to call early elections, though this would likely benefit Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally Party. Tesla has unveiled cheaper versions of its flagship vehicles as the electric vehicle maker braces for declining U.S. demand following the elimination of federal EV tax credits. The new stripped-down Model Y standard version starts at $37,990, approximately 15% cheaper than the previous base model, while the more affordable Model 3 sedan begins at $36,990. The budget models come with reduced features, lacking auto steer function, second-row touchscreens, and heated seats, and offer 10% less driving range than premium versions. Tesla shares fell more than 4% following the announcement as investors questioned the impact on profit margins. The timing is critical for Tesla as President Trump continues rolling back vehicle emissions regulations, and rival automakers Ford, Stellantis, and GM expand their gasoline and hybrid lineups. Tesla's third-quarter deliveries hit a record as consumers rushed to purchase before the $7,500 federal tax credit was canceled, but the company has warned of challenging quarters ahead. The move comes as Tesla faces mounting competition, particularly from Chinese manufacturer BYD, whose UK sales have outpaced Tesla's this year. Globally, BYD has sold 1.6 million vehicles compared to Tesla's 1.2 million, raising questions about whether Elon Musk can achieve the aggressive sales targets needed to unlock his proposed $1 trillion pay package. Of interconnected investments totaling over $1 trillion is raising serious concerns about an artificial intelligence bubble, with Nvidia and OpenAI at the center of increasingly circular business relationships. The controversial deals have analysts warning that the unprecedented spending spree may be artificially inflating the AI market. 2 weeks ago, Nvidia agreed to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI to fund a massive data center build-out, with OpenAI committing to fill those facilities with millions of Nvidia chips. This week, OpenAI struck a similar deal with Nvidia rival AMD, deploying tens of billions of dollars worth of chips while potentially becoming one of AMD's largest shareholders. OpenAI has also secured a $300 billion deal with Oracle to build U.S. data centers, with Oracle spending billions on NVIDIA chips for those facilities, effectively sending money back to NVIDIA. Additionally, NVIDIA plans to invest up to $2 billion in Elon Musk's xAI in a financing round tied to NVIDIA chip purchases. Brian Colello, a Morningstar analyst, warned, "If we get to a point a year from now where we had an AI bubble and it popped, this deal might be one of the early breadcrumbs. If things go bad, circular relationships might be at play." The situation echoes the dot-com bubble, though with far larger sums at stake. OpenAI's Sam Altman has said he expects to invest trillions in AI infrastructure despite his company never turning a profit. One analyst noted that Altman has the power to crash the global economy for a decade or take us all to the promised land. Right now, we don't know which is in the cards. Partially refund the Australian government after delivering a report riddled with apparent AI-generated errors, including fabricated quotes and non-existent academic references. The financial services firm was paid $440,000 Australian dollars for the 237-page report reviewing the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations automated penalty systems. Sydney University researcher Chris Rudge discovered up to 20 errors in the report, including references to non-existent books, fabricated court quotations from a federal judge, and citations of academic papers that don't exist. The tendency for AI systems to invent information is known as hallucination. One error wrongly attributed a non-existent book to Sydney University professor Lisa Burton Crawford with a title outside her field of expertise. More seriously, the report misquoted a federal court case and fabricated a judge's statement, which Rudge called about misstating the law to the Australian government in a report that they rely on. A revised version published Friday included a disclosure that Azure OpenAI was used in writing the report. Deloitte confirmed some footnotes and references were incorrect and agreed to repay the final installment under its contract, though neither the amount nor whether AI directly caused the errors has been disclosed. Australian Greens Senator Barbara Pocock demanded a full refund, comparing the errors to academic misconduct, the kinds of things that a first-year university student would be in deep trouble for. U.S. gold futures surged past the historic $4,000 per ounce milestone for the first time Tuesday, driven by expectations of Federal Reserve rate cuts and persistent safe haven demand amid the ongoing government shutdown. December delivery gold futures settled at $4,004.40, after hitting an intraday high of $4,014.60. Spot gold reached an all-time high of $3,990.85 before settling at $3,985.82 per ounce. The precious metal has climbed a remarkable 51% so far this year, fueled by a combination of factors including anticipated interest rate cuts, political and economic uncertainty, strong central bank buying, and exchange-traded fund inflows. Peter Grant, Vice President and Senior Metal Strategist at Zena Metals, attributed the surge to ongoing safe haven flows stemming in part from the government shutdown and no real indication that is likely to be resolved in the immediate term. The government shutdown has forced investors to rely on secondary data sources after key economic indicators were postponed, complicating assessments of Federal Reserve timing. Markets are currently pricing in a 25 basis point rate cut at this month's Fed meeting, with another cut anticipated in December. Adding to bullish sentiment, China's central bank has added gold to its reserves for 11 consecutive months. Goldman Sachs raised its December 2026 gold price forecast to $4,900 per ounce from $4,300, citing strong Western ETF inflows and expected central bank purchases. Thanks for sticking with us all the way through today's news. This is ChatBundle with Chris Henderson, and we'll be back tomorrow with even more breaking stories you need to know about. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a single update. And while you're at it, drop a like on this video. It seriously helps us grow and bring you better content every day. Join the ChatBundle community. Leave a comment. Let's talk about these stories together. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay informed, stay aware, and we'll catch you in the next one.